3, 2, 1, end of test. King with a go.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. This is Fred Bell here, the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, and we are talking today about the Hiller, the X-18. The X-18. I'm standing in front of another fine Hiller product that Hiller Aviation Museum actually donated to us. So shout out to the people at the Hiller Aviation Museum. We really appreciate your support. Now, the X-18 is interesting. I'm going to use a C-119, and the X-18 was kind of bulky looking, and the only difference is that the wing, obviously, it was a V-stall aircraft, or not obviously, but that's what they were testing, right? So it could vertically take off and land. Obviously, this is a C-119. I'm going to throw a plan view up. Greg in post can throw a plan view of the X-18. This is a very interesting concept, and again, whoever flew these things, the test pilots had certain portions of their anatomy that were made of steel, because there is no way, when I tell you about this airplane, helicopter, hybrid, whatever you want to call it, this was pretty crazy. Now, first of all, I want to thank Jason for the Megabucks hat, because I'm going to throw that off here. Daddy Warbucks.
Came in the game getting money.
Remember, click on that link at the down below, and you can give us a few bucks. We need them to run the museum. So a subtle reminder there from Jason. Now, the X-18 was worked on and designed by Stanley Hiller Jr. Its first flight was in 1959. It was developed from a Chase YL-122. It's a Franken plane thing that I'm going to tell you about what they put into it. It was started in 1955, and it was constructed from a bunch of scavenged parts. As I said, it was part of it was a 122C. The turboprops, you're going to know some of this because we just did it, were scavenged from the Lockheed and the Convair, the XFV program that they were working on, the Pogo. Well, we talked about the Pogo programs. So this thing was cobbled together with different parts. You could say that this is the Neanderthal version on the timeline, the Cro-Magnon Osprey. How about that? What do you think, Jason? Does that work? I mean, that's what they were trying to do here. Its first flight was at Moffett Field in 1959, and it did 20 flights at Edwards Air Force Base, which is a good, wide open place to have those test flights. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the spindle here, and my salute today really is to Stanley Hiller and all of the stuff that the company did, and the Hiller Aviation Museum. I gave him a shout out before, but Hiller was just amazingly involved in helicopters and vertical flight, vertical lift, and if you get a chance, get up there and check out that museum. It is really, really cool. And I'm going to salute Mr. Hiller with celery. Really? Celery soda with other natural? That is just gross thinking about it. And it's warm again. Thank you, Jason. You're making me work. At California Redemption, 140 calories. How can you have 140 calories with celery soda? How does that work? All right, so we're going to go ahead and salute good old Stanley Hiller and all of Hiller Aviation in the museum, and with this wonderful, scary beverage. Cheers.
Celery juice only detoxes you because it gives you the runs.
I'm not even sure what that tastes like. One more. Salute you.
And I mean, like, there are less aggressive ways to do your business.
You know what? That's, Jason, you have kind of failed. That's not disgusting. It is kind of like more of a ginger ale. I don't know what they make ginger ale out of, but it tastes more like ginger ale. Okay, so back to the X-18. The wind gusts, when the wing tilted, it was very susceptible to wind gusts. So when the wing tilted, it had very serious problems. The other issue was that the engines on the vehicle were not cross-linked. So if you lost an engine and you had essentially a thrust imbalance, the aircraft would go into a spin and crash. There was no way around it. There was on the 20th flight, they went up to 10,000 feet and they had a problem and the aircraft went into a spin and they recovered it, but the episode was so bad that was the last flight. I think people got out of that thing and said, there is no way I'm flying that again. The most interesting thing is the pilot of that flight, his shorts are on display at the Edwards Flight Museum. You can see them there. Jason, do you believe me? No, you don't. No, they're not on display there, but it had to have been really, really traumatic because the airplane never flew again. They ended up putting it on a test stand and it was tested from there with various iterations in flight, but it never flew again. So you can imagine that there were some very, very stern talking tos and they grounded the airplane. Sadly, for museum folks, it was cut up in 1964 and it is gone. For you engine folks, it had two Allison T40 engines and it had a J34 engine for thrust rotation. But as I said, the way that the aircraft's propulsion units were set up, if you lost one of those Allisons, you were pretty much toast. That was the end of the Hiller X-18. But as I said, we need to give it a lot of credit because it really was where they learned a lot of very important information on VSTOL aircraft. So that was not a total loss by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if you are at home and you're saying, I love helicopters, you need this. This is a puzzle that is suitable for framing. There's even an Osprey on there, the son, great-grandchild of the X-18. So you can pick up one of these. Go ahead and do that. Click on that link. Jason will happily print it out, cut it up, and send it to you. He'll actually just send it to you. If I talked about the whole money side again, if you want to help us keep going, we can certainly use your shekels. Click on that link and donate us a few bucks. We also have our education guides that are at the bottom of the video. If you're teaching the kiddos at home, click those things off and print them out, use them online on an electronic basis. You can do single education modules, or you could teach an entire course, and they are very, very good. If you came across us on YouTube, give us a subscription, a like, and your comments. And if you came across us on Facebook, same thing. Give us a like. On Instagram, give us a heart. Give us some comments. We love your comments. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
3, 2, 1, end of test. King with a go.
Rise to the blessed day. All my fears have gone away. I guess this means I'm here to stay. Yeah, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly. Wasn't long ago I shook at the thought of being hooked. But ever since I wrote my book, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly.
Come along and join us, we can plug you in a similar